Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence, and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. But if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Welcome back to Cast of the Pod. This week, it's myself,
Deb,
Cob Web.
Cob Web's joining us over here. Sorry about that. And this is actually like the third time we've recorded with Cob Web. This week it was supposed to be The Conjuring that came out, and then we have our Jurassic Park one, which we're going to throw on Bucket of Popcorn. And today we're talking about The Black Phone, but you know, we had to throw this one out first, right?
Yes.
I agree.
I was like excited. I was like, okay, let's podcast.
So Cob, you saw this movie yesterday. Deb and I saw it this morning. As soon as we were walking out the theater, she's talking about it. And I'm like, whoa. Let's reach out to Cob Web first.
I'm glad I was thought of. I was thought of, you know.
There you go.
Yeah, I went and saw it last night at the 10:25 show or something like that.
Yeah.
So we got out of there kind of late.
Man.
But, yeah. Luckily, the movie theater is only like around the corner from us. So
I'm wondering if this movie is going to be just like how we had our discussion about Jurassic World Domination, or that Jurassic Park movie. I'm wondering if you can feel the same way I do about this movie.
all right. I don't know, but I felt a little overrated. You know, like I was overrated, pushed onto something that was a little bit more overrated than it needed to be. I didn't think that it deserved the hype that it was getting.
That's how you felt after you left the movie?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna have a good conversation today. Because before we get into any of the spoilers or anything like that, do you know like where this movie came from and all that?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite writers, Jonah Hill, who is Stephen King's son.
Yeah. He took a short story and he made the screenplay for it, right?
I believe so. I've never read that story. I don't remember seeing that short story from him. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But it's been a while since I did some Jonah Hill. I think the best thing I've ever read from him was that Nosferatu book.
Oh yeah, that they did the TV show of, right?
Yeah, the TV show was kind of boring compared to the book. The book was really good.
Man,
it was really good.
So
it was really intense.
So to be honest with you, me and Deborah came out of the movies just floored. Because I've been wanting to see this movie. It seems like they've been pushing this movie since before the lockdown. Like it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago or a year ago. It feels like, you know, I've been seeing the same trailer and I've been seeing this mask for like the longest time. And even a buddy of mine has a way of seeing films, and it was like, oh, let's watch that movie, The Black Phone. And it wasn't even out on the way that he watches his films or anything like that. And it's like, wait, I thought this movie came out, and it barely came out this week. So, you know, I thought this movie was supposed to be done and everything last year. How long have you known about it?
I've known about it for a while. You know, pretty much almost like the same as you have, you know, but, you know, you lose track of things, gets pushed back. I think they just kept pushing it back so they could release it into theaters.
Well, yeah, that is something they did put on IMDb, that the movie received such great test views that they were like, you know what? If we make this a summer movie, we're going to make some more money off of it.
I can see that.
And so they openly admitted to holding the movie back. It was supposed to come out in February of this year originally. Well, I still say it was supposed to come out early 2021, but no, it's 2022. And I don't know. I know we normally don't go into the ratings until the end of the pod, but let's go into it right now before we break anything down, before we get into any kind of spoilers or anything like that. Let's do a number rating. You want to go first?
I know I'm a little bit tougher than you guys on some stuff. I would give it a 7.
Give it a 7. All right, let me mark that right
Give it
here.
a 7.
Deb, how about you?
I gave it a 10.
Straight up 10.
Yep. I gave it a 10.
All right. Oh, and I multiplied instead of added. Wait, hold on. So we're at 17. And because I'm taking into consideration the full movie experience that we had from beginning to end and not knowing what we were getting into. For me, I'm giving it a 10 also.
Whoa!
Yep.
You guys were floor coming out of there.
We were. I wanted to talk about it so bad.
You guys were really floor coming out. I can see how you guys could get a 10. You know, I think that my personal stuff that I saw so many trailers showing it to my wife and friends, like, hey, we're going to go see that. Have you seen that movie? Type, well, check the trailer out. So it kind of pushed down my expectations a little bit more than it, whatever, but it was. Go ahead.
Now, this is something the little bit Deborah and I did talk about when we left the theater. Everything in the movie is basically in the couple of trailers that are out. But
yeah,
I just thought the writing and the little bit that wasn't in the trailers, I thought it was worth it. I thought it tied everything together. And it just, it seemed like the movie started, we started watching it, and then it ended, and I was like, oh, damn. Like, I didn't even feel time go by.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. And there are so many things in the movie that I did like a lot. I told Josh, I did tell him this part. The movie, it made me cry. It made me sad. It made me mad. It made me laugh. It made me happy. I had all those different emotions for that movie. There's not a lot of movies that I can have all those emotions in one movie. And this movie did give me all those emotions. When it scared me.
I can see that. I agree with you on that, Deb. I'm agree with you on that, 100%. I felt that same way on a lot of things, and it's how they set the movie up. You know, the character that they put in place. You know, the situations, the likability, and everything like that. It's there. You know, you definitely feel a connection to each character in the movie, and that's one thing I did see that I did. I had to separate myself from a little bit because I didn't want to get too wild up.
Now, see, with us, we're taking into consideration that Deb hadn't seen anything about the movie.
I saw the preview one time, and then I try to stay away from anything else.
Like at the end of the film, she's all like, I knew it, it's Ethan Hawke. I'm like, yeah, they weren't hiding that was Ethan Hawke.
I was like, oh.
That's how little of the movie she had seen up until this point. So she went in completely blank. But honestly, no offense to, have you seen Moon Knight?
Yes, I have seen Moon Knight quite a bit. I have not seen the last 2 episodes.
Oh, okay. So no offense to Mr. Ethan Hawke and all that, but in the movie, I know I gave it a 10, but like I said, it's a whole theater experience. We saw it at a great theater, saw it at the perfect time, and all that. That's how we're winding it up to a 10. But I think anybody could have played that part. Like he didn't go all out. There wasn't anything special about the character that he made.
The mask did the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Because it kind of, I'm trying to find something negative about it, because I feel guilty about giving a high rating to a movie. You're never supposed to give a perfect rating. So, I mean, I know we're going to have a 10 plus rating later on, just so this one won't be a perfect. But I'm thinking that they were trying to do. You ever seen Glass?
Glass.
Yeah, with Professor X and I forgot his name, young Professor X, and Samuel Jackson.
I believe so.
And they show him doing the different characters, his because that's what they tried to do with this one. When he had part of the mask, he was kind of motherly. When he had the other part of the mask, he was kind of friendly. And then when he had the sad, the growl look on his face, that was when he was the upset father with the belt.
I think he just flips that mask around, that bottom piece around.
Yeah.
To make it look happy and sad or mad.
Yeah.
Well, and I think he was trying to portray different characters, different personalities. That's the word I was looking for. Like he had a split personality disorder.
It did seem like that, but no, he was just a crazy son of a bitch.
Well,
he was a psycho.
Yes, I agree 100%. I'm glad that you said that, because nowadays in movies they always try to put some kind of sob story, some kind of, oh, you got to feel bad for the bad guy because, you know, they had something in their childhood or whatever. Sometimes they just need to let the villains be villains.
But I don't think this one made him to be sad or something. He was just the grabber.
Well,
I don't know, maybe I didn't see it.
Well, let's talk about the movie. If anybody, I recommend you see the movie before you hear this, because now we're gonna get into the spoilers and all that. But
for sure. Yeah, we got to talk about this, John.
Yes. Have you noticed? Yeah. Have you noticed recently that there's a lot of movies that they're putting in the mid '80s, the late '70s? Have you noticed that?
Like eggs. Yeah.
You know why they're doing that, right?
No.
Yeah.
Why do you think, Cob?
It's the same way they did it with the baby boomers back then. You know, this is our generation. This generation right here that grew up in the 80s is the money power generation. You know, we can relate to a lot of things in our childhood like that. That's why. Yes,
and that's going to lead to more money. So that's the first reason. But the secondary reason for it that I think it's because there's no cell phones. At a time when there's no phones, there's no security cameras, and it makes the writing that much easier.
If it would have been right now, he would have had a cell phone in his pocket.
Yeah,
the kid.
See, we'll get to how that makes me mad in a little bit, but because like when the grabber is walking down, like he didn't have no camera down there, so he didn't know that the kid, I forgot the kid's name. Finney?
Yeah, Finney.
Yeah, he didn't know that they was setting up traps or any of that stuff because he didn't have any cameras.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's right.
So it's that time frame, that last generation, where you can get away with that, with not having cell phones and cameras all over the place.
I can see that too, because it gives you that sense of, you know, that vulnerability that you can't get away from. That junk was, yeah. There's one thing I can say about this. Can I? Go ahead, Deb.
No, I was gonna agree. I can see that.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that it does do is that it gives you like that sense of like you can't give up type thing. You know, even though you know your back is completely up against the wall, you have to keep thinking. You have to keep trying. You can't allow things to get in your life so bad that you give up, and that's what it proved out to be. You know, that's how you get out of situations like that. You just can't give up.
Yeah.
And he almost did.
See,
yeah, a couple times.
Everything in this movie, this was kind of Slumdog Millionaire to me. And I say that because everything in this movie that happens, even if you don't realize what it is, it happens for a reason that leads to the ending of it. And that's one of the things I liked about it, the story that it was telling, from when the little kid was getting into the fight. What was the little kid's name?
Which one?
His friend Robin.
Okay.
When Robin when he was beating up the bully, and then he swung around him and he was holding his neck, and I was like, oh, RKO. He's giving him an RKO out of nowhere.
I thought he was too.
And then he just dropped him.
And
I thought he was gonna do a rude awakening or something.
And then I just kind of let it go. It was like, okay, he didn't follow through the move or anything like that. But then it comes out that Finney uses the move at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I forgot. Oh man, I missed that.
And every part of that trap that he sets out at the end, and move my phone away from the recorder. It's throwing off some sounds there. Everything that they did at the end was something that happened earlier in the movie. Something that for example, when he dug the hole between the bathroom and where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was like, he's gonna find that. Isn't he gonna hear the toilet flushing 42 times as he's throwing the dirt away from it where he's digging the hole? And then I was thinking, well, he's probably in a basement. That's a lot of digging if he's gonna escape. So that fell through.
But then, would he still hear it even though he said it was soundproof?
Maybe not. I didn't think about that. But then he tries to get out of the window, and he ends up breaking the burglar bars. So now he can't climb up there no more. And I'm like, well, there's another thing. Now he's gonna see that the burglar bars are missing. And then he dug through the wall and got that plate where the freezer was at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's where he got the screws at. And then he messed up the cord when he was climbing up through the thing. But what does he do at the end of the movie? He uses those screws from the freezer to put the trip wire there, which is the wire that he used to climb. And then he used the grate that fell out the window to make him break his ankle when he fell into that hole. So all of that stuff, even though it was a failure, he turned around a piece from each one of those into what spoiler alert, what saved him.
Yeah, there's one part you missed there. That was crucial. That was really crucial that he did. It was the toilet scene when he was drinking water out of the toilet, out of the basin.
Yeah.
Or whatever that one part is. And he kept looking down at it. He took that thing apart and he used it to get those bolts out of that wall.
Yeah.
To get that plate through. Because he couldn't get it out with his hands. If he didn't have to take that thing out of that toilet, he'd have been done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he had no way to get that out. And then when he got into that freezer, you're like, what the hell is he going to do with this shit?
And he took all the steaks out.
The steaks.
And he used it to get past the dog.
Yep. See, the funny thing is we're getting to all this point and all that, and we're not even building up the character development. I do want to say that the little girl, what was the sister's name, Deb? She's Gwen. I think, yeah, she's Gwen.
I love the character.
She was my favorite.
When she was getting whooped by her dad with the belt.
Oh my God.
I cried.
I was thinking he's really whooping this kid. Because the way that she sold it, the way that the pain on her face and the I mean, you can't just cry like that. And if she could, that's going to be the best actress, whatever, however you want to say it, for like the next 20, 30 years.
That was pretty tight. Her character, the whole thing, her interaction, when she was praying and everything else like that, getting mad, everything about that kid, you believed.
Yes.
Yes.
I think most of my emotions that I had for the movie came from her.
The best acting in this whole movie was from her. Everything she did. Her real name is Madeline McGraw, so keep an ear out for that name.
She was really good.
And the dad was the crazy guy from Lost, Daniel Faraday. I don't know if you watched Lost, but
I've heard the name before. I've seen him.
He was kind of weak, especially during the beating scene. He was just like, I don't know. He was probably the worst part for me.
Let's be honest. That's a hard scene to do for anybody with any decency.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think he did about as good as he's gonna do. I mean, who could actually do that role? Really, if you have to really disconnect yourself from a lot to be able to even come up to that level of acting.
And then the way she was, it just made it feel real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see.
I don't know about y'all, but depending on what the payday is, I could do it.
Wow, Josh. Wow.
Hey, hey, hey.
Wait. Yeah.
Actors are actors. You know what I'm saying? It just.
Yeah, you're not really hitting the kid. You're hitting a pole. You know. Yeah. All right.
Oh, wait. We don't actually get to hit the kid? Oh, well, then forget it. It's all right.
Did they actually show him hit her?
No, it was kind of like at an off angle where you could tell he was like hitting a prop or hitting something else.
So yeah.
So, but yeah,
So if that's the case, yeah, he could have did better.
The way that he sold doing the beating was kind of bad, but it was completely saved by her acting.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You know, it's like this too, but you got to think about the character thing. He was so upset. It was like he didn't want to beat her.
right.
You know, he didn't want to beat her. That's what it seemed like to me.
And
But
then
he was so scared about what with her mother that that's why he beat her. And he just had to do it.
And then he had been drinking too.
Well, he
was like a 6-pack a night.
see that's something that we're missing, and we jumped to that the kid got kidnapped, and Finney he breaks out. Spoiler alert, it's a happy ending, but there was so much backstory. Is it Blumhouse or Blumhouse Productions that this is called?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew how is it.
They do so well. Hell, they came out with didn't they do Fantasy Island also?
Yes.
I even like Fantasy Island.
We've done a lot of movies.
And it's just
My experience for the home movie was a great experience, even with the trailers before the movie. I wanted to see every one of those movies.
Every trailer was a damn good horror movie. No, but that's the point that I was getting to. The writing on this was so good that we haven't even talked about that the mother to Finney and Gwen had extra powers. She could see the future. She had dreams. And that's why the dad was beating her, because he was telling her, "You're not like your mother. You're not having these dreams. They don't mean nothing. It's not really happening." He's trying to beat the power out of her.
Yeah.
See, and that was like one of the questions. I did have questions of the movie. When Finn had already got kidnapped and he had the first phone call, and then they were saying, the one kid that he talked to, he said, "You're the only one that can hear this. Like we weren't able to hear it. Like before, you know that the sister has dreams, but they never really talk about him. So I wasn't sure, like why he could hear the phone and none of the other kids could.
It was inherited from the mom. But then
I didn't even catch that.
Because the first, I forgot the first kid's name.
It's
Bruce.
It's Bruce. Finn asked him. He was like, "Does this phone ring for everybody?" Because they show the phone with the cord cut, and Bruce says, he goes, "Yeah, it rang for all of us. We just couldn't hear it like how you can, but he can hear it too." So the grabber has powers also. Which leads to the next point that I wanted to talk about. There's a scene right at shortly after the kidnapping, when they kidnap Finn, because we didn't even go into the breakdown of the movie because we
just jumped into.
Hey, that's a
wait. I know where you're going, but wait. I thought that they said that the grabber he hears the phone, but he thinks that it's just broken or something.
Yeah, they said that he hears it, but he doesn't want to believe that it's real.
Yeah. He thinks it's just in his head.
Yes. So what happens is, this is a small town and kids are starting to disappear. Before Finney disappears, there's 5 other kids that are already missing, and it's starting to be an issue, an ongoing issue in the town, and they realize that it's a serial kidnapper. And that's where the small town is at. But there's a scene shortly after Finn gets kidnapped, and it's when he asks him, he's like, well, what's your name? And he tells him, he goes, sooner or later they're gonna put your real name out in the paper anyways. And Finn lies. He gives him some other kind of name that wasn't his name, and he tells him, you know what, he goes, I was just about to let you go too, Finn. He goes, I thought you were special. And and is it because he's feeling that they have the same kind of abilities or something like that? Like this is something that you can go into prequels and sequels and do like a Blumhouse universe type situation.
That's quite possible. I can see that. You know, it's like the Adventures of Finney. I like Finn and what's his sister's name?
Gwen.
The Adventures of Finn and Glenn.
I'd watch it. I'll tell you right now.
I want to know more story of the mom. I would like to know more of what she did.
It sounds like she did something bad.
Yes.
Well, he said that she killed herself.
He said that the dreams and the voices made her do things, and he said made her do bad things to the point where she couldn't deal with it and then killed herself.
So I would like to know more of her story.
That would be a good like Dr. Sleep type. Well, I was gonna say prequel, but that's not a prequel. That's a sequel for The Shining.
Yeah. That was good too.
But you know what though, I do want to go back on before Robin got killed, before he got kidnapped and all that. I like the scene, and that's the first movie that kid's been in, Robin. I like the scene when he's taping up his knuckles in the bathroom, which is a little much the way he's describing. Oh well, I had to make him bleed. That puts a show because he beat up the bully, and when you put on that show, it's less that you have to say. And like he was spitting out some good psychology.
Mm-hmm.
That's 80s bullying 101, bro. I mean, I grew up in that era. That was Norm. He was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right. I've been in situations like that. I think he was dead on point.
You gotta make a big scene, but I can see it. But you know what? Those punk ass bullies, that little redheaded guy with his two friends.
Oh, they made me so mad.
As soon as Robin got kidnapped, what do? They go and whoop his ass.
And then and then his sister, when she came and she just threw the rock and hit him right in the head. Oh my god!
But
he took him out.
She did.
We're not even sitting up against the wall like this is a timeout circle.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know about where you're from, and I don't know about Deb when she was a kid, how it was. But when you were off to the side, when you were up against a wall or you were off against the fence, that you were out. You were done.
Yeah.
Well, that kid was done.
But that was a cool thing. She split his head open, and he's just gushing from the side. And then after she got kicked in the face, they're just both sitting next to each other, like, okay, we're here at the done spot.
We need medical attention.
There was still a slight bit of honor, even with the bullies there.
Oh man, those dudes are like so cruel, man. If you really think about it, you know, this kid's best friends has been kidnapped, and you're going to sit up there and start beating them up just because he's not there anymore or whatever. What kind of assholes are those going to be when they grow up?
Same day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Same day.
Yeah. Now, you got to worry about those kids.
Now here's something that goes back to where I was saying that everything in this movie leads off to the end, and I know it's not going to be. So a lot of people, whoever hears this, might not think of it that way, but the dad's drinking and the dad's abuse, because you know that wasn't the first time that they got whooped like that. I know they only showed the sister getting whooped, but you know Finn had to be getting it too. And
they were walking on eggshells around there.
Yes, yeah. Yes. That's the first relationship you see that you know he's slurping his soup or his cereal too loud. And the girl drops the bread box,
and she's like, "Ah!"
And it just shows that how tense it is. But that beating and that PTSD, if that's what you want to call it, of being beaten, all that. And I'm not saying it in a positive way. I'm just saying that kind of helped him stay alive in the end of the movie.
He was a little bit harder.
And the talk that he had with Robin.
Yeah.
And Robin was like, if you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for me.
That was so cool when he killed him. He said, and the phone started ringing. That was so freaking tight.
He already had the phone in his hand.
But
He's like, this for you.
See, that was the thing though. He puts it on the side of his head, right? Because the grabber had always thought the ringing was in his head, that it wasn't real. So Finn puts it to his ear, and he hears them for real. He hears them getting their revenge on him.
And it sounded so creepy, but awesome at the same time.
And that's when, I mean, that had to have been something. I mean, his leg was already broken. He had already been whooped and all that. And then his face was he was getting choked out and everything like that. And then to hear the voices of his victims that now he did, that was the whole play. The whole movie is about psychology and him having power over somebody else.
And then that one blind kid that he got that was playing pinball, that kid, he was badass.
Yes.
Like he said, he told him there was something that was really important. He said, this isn't about you.
Yes.
You know, because they wanted their revenge against this asshole. They wanted payback. And if they left something for the next guy to get the hell out that they couldn't finish or some idea, they kept building and building.
Man.
Yeah.
There was so much to this story. Like, I'm listening to both y'all talk, and I'm like, I didn't even catch on to that. I want to see this now, so see it again to catch on to some of the other stuff that I didn't know I missed.
I'm just worried that if we see it again, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's an 8. The movie had some great jump scares, and I know there was one where Deborah like shook the whole damn row of chairs that we're in. It was the first little boy that his ghost popped up in the room when Finn was on the phone. The newspaper kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paperboy.
Yeah, Paperboy.
Well, I knew someone or something was gonna pop up, but I thought it was gonna be the grabber. Like, I thought he was gonna be on the phone talking to him, and the grabber was gonna be behind him. I told you to hang up the phone. So
I thought so too.
I didn't expect it, and so when he was standing there, I jumped and covered my face.
Yeah, I was already on guard when we got there because the lady was dropping off our popcorn. She almost dropped it on us. You know, she did a little trip on us at the last, like Benny the Bull or something. So I was already on edge already. But yeah, that was a good one. There was like about 3 good ones like that.
The next one that I remember is when Gwen's riding down the street in the rain on her bike, and then she runs into the 5 victims.
Oh, yeah, and they're all standing.
They're all standing in the middle of the
street
in front of the house where she's at.
Okay. This is what I didn't like about this movie. Okay. This is where reality kicks in. Where's the goddamn curfew? Okay. Who's letting these kids out just walking around like this in the middle of the day?
She snuck out.
Yeah. You know, but they didn't have they shouldn't have enough cops to, you know, they should have been out looking in these streets, combing this junk for these kids.
Or some parents that were like, what are you doing in the street? Kids are disappearing.
Exactly. There was none of that, dude. Did you just get up and just go? You know what? I keep forgetting. This was the 80s.
It was okay to be like that.
Yeah. Back then it was like, we'll make more kids. It's all right.
Yeah, you could sneak out the house in the 80s and be gone and
come back and still be okay.
Yeah.
It's not like now. Back then it would have been like, wait a minute. We've left you here for 3 days and you've been in the house all this time? What the hell's wrong with you?
Man.
But man, it just that whole the blonde kid that you're talking about that was playing pinball, that had a very Stranger Things vibe to me.
I can see that.
That scene, it seemed a little out of place. It seemed like a little further back in time than the rest of the movie. But it went well. And I didn't get when he carved the 7741 into him. I was like, what does that mean?
I thought that was At first, I thought that was his score for the pinball machine.
No, it's 10,000.
Oh, well, I didn't see what the score was, and I don't remember hearing the other kid. I just know he said, "Oh, you're almost beating your own score." And when he put the number, I was like, "Oh, that's his score." Like that. I was thinking that's kind of a low score, but okay.
See, this is what that whole scene that was crazy. Those kids were freaking assholes. I mean, who takes a fight like that and he pulls out a freaking blade?
And then he
was saying, "I'm ready to get that hardcore."
and then the guy who technically is the victim, which is the blonde kid, the blonde curly hair kid, is the one that got arrested.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. Wait, how did he catch the blonde kid?
Because he went back to start playing his. He continued to play the pinball machine.
No, this is back in the 80s. So there had to be like one adult there who was like, "You just wait here, mister."
Oh, are you talking about the grabber or the cops?
Oh, how did the grabber
No.
catch the blonde kid?
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think they showed it. Did I miss
I don't
that?
remember how he caught him.
'Cause
I remember he was in the back seat of the car, and that was it. He
Yeah,
was in the back seat of the police squad car.
That was kind of weird because it almost looked like the police delivered him to the
But
grabber.
that was her dream.
That was her dream, yeah. But that's what I didn't get until she saw the house and the address and all that. I'm like, did the cops drop off this problem kid to the grabber? Did the cops know all this time?
That's what I wanted to know, because it didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that one cop, he was an asshole.
Unless her dream was just showing her, like how he was.
I don't know.
'Cause she saw the whole thing. I mean, even Finn was there at the store.
Watching everything happen.
Yeah. Yeah, she was there too. I remember her walking past.
Well, because they foreshadowed him. They said his name, and they were saying how he was that Robin became the toughest kid after that other guy disappeared. So
Right.
yeah, they foreshadowed his toughness.
Yeah, he was a hardcore son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, that kid right there. He took on three, and then a guy had a switchblade, and he still kicked their ass.
All of them, not just one.
Right. That little rat pack of jokers always getting their ass whooped messing around with him. And then they tried to junk with Finn, and then they tried it with old dude, and he had to say, no, let me stop y'all right now. Let me show y'all. And you got to think about it. They came at old boy with a switchblade, right? Then they came back again after him. They sent the old big dude. He was like, no. If I'm going up against y'all jokers, I got to show y'all who the king on this street is. Because if not, they going to run right over you.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't understand is when they caught Robin, when the grabber caught Robin, they show him walking,
He was walking like
And he-
behind the mall.
and then the van was there in the background, and he was already out of the van, and it looked like Robin just walked straight over there to him.
Yeah, his character would have been smarter than that.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
And I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, but it was also, she was seeing it in her dream. So I didn't know if this was just like,
What the ghosts were trying to show her
Yeah.
or what really happened.
yeah.
Like if that was the easiest way just to explain to her that they got
Like,
kidnapped.
look, Robin was walking, the grabber caught him, and now he's kidnapped. Type of thing.
Yeah, that was enough. Because you see how he operated with the ones that he did catch.
Yeah.
You know, that joker was quick with them damn balloons.
And the sad thing is that's how it happens in real life. I've seen these police stories and all that where it's hey, I lost my puppy, or how he dropped the eggs and stuff like that, and it's just the ignorant, naive kid trying to help.
Yep. Maybe with
Yep.
Robin, like he had problems with the van or something, because maybe Robin wanted to help him.
You're trying to say that Robin knew how to be a mechanic?
Yeah. You never know.
Okay.
He is a tough guy.
I don't understand how they should have been like walking in pairs all the time to wherever they had to go. If you him walk in pairs, you should have been walking in like with a police one there. And they should have like cops like in the areas where the kids walk.
Especially
You know
where
what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they didn't get nothing, man. That's police force. Stop.
Especially after 2 kids disappeared. This is already 5, not counting Finn. And there's still no like mama patrols out there walking them across the street or nothing like that. And then they had those weird yards. The fencing, did you notice that?
Yeah, so there was like little alleys, like little.
They had like fenced alley walkways.
Yeah.
It was
Like
like
it was almost like a trailer park type of homestead.
everywhere. Yeah. It was almost like cattle being herded to slaughter.
Yeah, but like you said, like it didn't make any sense that I didn't see enough police presence. You saw a lot of presence at the end and like certain big scenes or something like that, but as for like on the streets, you didn't see no cops nowhere.
Nowhere patrolling.
Right.
But
They
back
and
then,
they knew the thing about here's something. They knew that there was the thing about the van, right? They said the cops knew about the black van and the balloon.
and the balloons. Mhm.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they put that out there, you know, like to the public, being like, hey, telling everybody, because they was withholding that information.
Yeah, because he drove the van to his house and to work, right?
And when you watch the movie at the beginning, you see the van kind of driving around. Just not even part of the story. You just see it in the background.
In the background.
There's a couple of parts where you could see it. And I already knew that it was the Abracadabra van because of the stuff I had seen on the trailers. So, but, you know, the first one was real obvious. And then after that, I just started watching it. And every now and then you would just see it in the background. Something was going on.
I want to see it
Yeah.
again just to see if there's extra stuff in the background that we missed. Because there has to be to make it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Being sitting up there practicing with that phone.
It looked funny.
2 steps in, dodge back, bam.
And he did do it, right?
They-
when he was hitting him.
Yeah, because he came in with, man, he smacked his own brother in the head with that axe.
See what you made
Very
me do.
good.
You made
What
me.
was his brother on? You trying to tell me this Joker seemed like he's some big super cop, you know, got the whole thing figured out, and he downstairs in the basement with these kids while he's sitting up there doing cocaine.
For anybody listening, yes. For anybody listening that hasn't seen the movie yet, as the couple of cops who finally start believing the sister and they start believing her dreams, they're going around casing the town and they run into this one guy that has this great idea. And he's like, well, he has to have like a van. And since he, you know, because he has a van, then he has to have a garage. That way nobody sees what's going on. And he's got all these clues and he's doing his own investigation. And they notice that he's got a couple of lines of cocaine on his table. And he's like, I'm just here at my brother's house, and while my brother's not here, and they're like, well, you should clean up before your brother gets back. Come to find out that his name is Max. He's the brother to the grabber. And as he does figure it out on his own, where the police couldn't do it, he realizes after studying the maps and all that his house is in the perfect place, and they got the garage and all that. And he goes down into the basement. And as soon as he sees Finn, he's like, no, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. He's at work. Whack! Right in the head with the axe.
Man, it took all that cocaine to figure that shit out.
And then, man.
Wait, that was 80s cocaine too.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say right now. I don't know how many 80s cops would just let cocaine. Oh, it's okay. He's got, there's only 3 lines there. We'll just let this one go.
We have other things to do.
You know, in real life, they'd be like, man, look at this. We're out here looking for kids. 2 birds, 1 stone. We're you know.
You turn around.
Yeah,
Put
this
your
has
hands
been like
behind
a
your
sign,
back.
like maybe you want it. That should have been like a sign you might want to search the premises.
Yeah.
And then he had pictures of all the kids, and he had like a layout of the town and all that.
Wouldn't that be a red flag? Like,
Yeah.
why is there this guy that already has his brother's house the way it is, and he has all the pictures of the kids and a map and everything? I think, to me, that would raise a red flag for me, and I would be like, excuse me, I need to
We need to
ask
look
you some
around here.
questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The police were garbage. That's okay, what else do you need? You come to the house, you got motive. You see the motive. You see the cocaine. I mean, that's in the 80s, they was treating cocaine like that. I don't think so.
And then where did he get the pictures? And they weren't black and white like he cut them out of the newspaper. They didn't have no Facebook or anything like that where he could have got the pictures. They were full color pictures.
He had him on.
And the funny thing is, he was actually innocent. He was what did he say? He's an idiot, but he was my idiot.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
See what you
He probably just kept him pounding all that cocaine.
Yeah.
Maybe he was getting the cocaine from his brother. That's how he kept him around. He just kept giving him cocaine so he wouldn't have to so he wouldn't get to wiser what he was doing.
Yep, that makes sense. But yeah, man, I loved the movie, and we're gonna see it again, but yeah, it just we collectively give it a 9, with your 7 and Deb and mine both giving it a 10. But then again, we also saw it for free, so that adds to the experience of the theater.
You got to see it for free.
Yes, sir. We know somebody who we recently found out that somebody that we're connected to, a relative of ours, near and dear, gets X amount of tickets for free because they work there.
Oh.
Yeah. And we were going to watch it last night, but then it was sold out. It was sold out bad. And then she's like, all right, well, let's just get you some tickets for tomorrow. I said, okay, fine. So we saw it at 11 o'clock this morning. So let's talk about the trailers. Did you have any good trailers before it for you, Cob?
They all suck.
Man, we had one for a movie called Barbarian, which I'll send you the trailer for that one. We had another trailer for Nope. Then we had something My Dear or My Darling, right?
My Darling.
And each one of the trailers were just dark and twisted and like movies we need to pod about.
There was that, I don't know if that one was it, My Darling. I don't know if it was a spirit or whatever, but the people kept smiling.
Smile. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Smile? So we were watching, that was the last trailer before the movie started. And
did you see that one, Cob?
Yeah, I did. And I think about it, I did see that. But I've seen that one before.
Well, we had none of the trailers that came out today we had seen before.
And this is the first time that I jumped. That it's really scared me when at the end of the trailer when
she walks up to the car.
When she's sitting in her car and the other lady walks up to the car and she knocks on the window and then her neck twists
and breaks and turns the wrong way. Her whole head turns down.
And she's smiling.
Oh yeah. That looked so cheap.
I don't know. It scared me.
That looked so cheap. That looked like a mannequin head falling down.
See,
I was like, that's raggy tag special effects. They're trying to get away from CGI now, and they're trying to do this stuff again like they used to do back in the 80s, but they ain't doing it right.
See, that's the thing though, because Deb's all innocent in her mind and all that. I'm seeing the lady stand there, and I'm like, okay, somebody's gonna lop her head off. You're gonna see it fly off into the background, or she's gonna start bleeding or something like that, and then like her head bends through her neck and her chest and all that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I guess I was already on the edge when I saw that because I've been watching All of Us Are Dead. I think that's the name of it. All of Us Are Dead on Netflix.
On Netflix, yeah.
A TV series, and it's a zombie show, and that's how this
Cob Web.
zombie.
Cob Web.
Yeah.
The show that she's talking about is an Asian zombie horror series, like modern Asian. And you know how like all the zombies now in the Asian movies, all their bones are cracking and they're bending all weird ways and all that. Yeah, that's what she's talking about. So that's why she was so caught off guard by the head turning upside down on Smile. All right, so this has been our discussion about The Black Phone, starring Ethan Hawke and a whole bunch of kids and the guy from Lost. And even our dog's chiming in on it. So thanks for listening to this week's episode of Cast of the Pod. If you want to find us on any social media, it's Cast of the Pod. We even just started up a TikTok along with the Twitter and the Facebook and Instagram and all that. So our co-host, Cob Web.
Yo, all I can say is that it's great to be here. I'm glad I'm doing this with you guys. I'm glad to be on Cast of the Pod. We got a lot more stuff to be cooking up.
Deb?
No. I did, and then I lost I went blank.
All right.
No, I did too. I went a little blank there for a minute.
You caught me off guard.
You caught me off guard too. I'm just listening to the smooth tones of Josh, and here he comes.
So I'm not even gonna cut this out. I'm just gonna leave it like this. All right, y'all. So until next time, thanks for for joining us in our discussion of the movie The Black Phone. Until next time, peace.
Bye, everybody.